The Sacrian is a character in Castle Crashers who uses sand magic. I had the bright idea to try to beat the entire game of Castle Crashers using only this magic. Join me today as I show you my experience on how I beat Castle Crashers using only sand. Remember to like and subscribe, guys, it really helps me out. Let's get right into this. Here, we only have a basic tornado attack for our splash move. This move gets really good later on, but right now it only does 5 and ticks for 1. For this video, I recorded using my Nintendo Switch capture device, which is built into the system, but later on I used my capture card. So if the quality looks a little weird in the beginning, that's why. I wanted to play handheld mode, can you blame me? Anyway, with the help of my Grey Knight friend, we were able to make it through the beginning of the castle keep. He kind of did all the carrying, and I kind of just knocked all the enemies right into the Grey Knight, but right now, the challenge is not that bad, just time consuming. Let's move on to the next area. But before that, we have to get ourselves a pet. I was originally going to go with a magic alien, but I wanted to level up as fastly as I can so I could beat this challenge quicker and get this video out sooner. So I went with the giraffe for the start of the run and switched to the alien, which gives you a magic boost later on in the run. But the giraffe basically lets you level up faster, which means better magic quicker. For my choice of sword, I went with Hattie Haddington's sword because it gives you a +3 magic boost at only level 1. I originally forgot this weapon existed and I was unironically going to use the stick weapon, but then I remembered to use my brain and actually look at all the weapons. This was the perfect choice for right now and it will suit us and in this challenge perfectly. I mindlessly picked up the Barbarian Axe, which one of the enemies dropped after I killed it. This wasn't all bad because I actually was able to get crits off of my tornado attack, which was pretty cool, but it was very rare and only happened about twice. After a while, I was able to kill the first boss. This tornado move is actually really good at taking out larger opponents in the game. As you see further in the run, it came in handy a lot. But that takes down the first boss and it moves us on to the second boss. The second boss is the Barbarian Boss. This guy, again, was also weak to the tornado attack, and after dodging his attacks with the shield and just waiting a little bit, I was easily able to take him down by just using the tornado attack, moving us on to the next level. So actually, we were able to obtain a brand new power, which is this sort of projectile but melee-like attack. It's this Gust of Wind, and it's the only attack that's a magic attack in the game that doesn't go all the way across the screen. So this move pops up the enemies and it has a big radius, but it doesn't do that much damage as of right now. But I think right now it's my best option to take out the smaller enemies. After fighting a couple more hordes of enemies, I finally made it to the end of the field. It was now time to enter the Thieves Forest. The Thieves Forest, I continued to use my projectile magic as it hit multiple enemies at once and it made it pretty easy to get through the level. I made it to the troll boss at the end and all the trolls ended up comboing me, making it a last hit scenario for me and the boss. This was absolutely terrifying. Out of nowhere they all just started comboing me and I had to try to guide them into the fire pit because it actually killed them, and sometimes they dropped food and I was hoping I could maybe heal. But this didn't actually work. I was one tornado spin away from killing this boss, and I decided to bite the bullet. I killed the boss, but it also killed me, meaning I had to replay the entire level all over again. I wasn't too upset though, because I was able to upgrade my magic. I then got greedy again and died and got comboed by the trolls. Yippee. Time to do the level all over again. This time around the boss was an absolute pushover because of my magic being insanely more powerful than how it was last time, and I was able to make it to the abandoned mill. At this point in the run, it was all over with the trolls. Thank goodness. Now it was time to enter the river. The fish monsters in the river were an absolute pushover from my tornado. I was able to basically instant kill them. So the river was going insanely well so far. Until I got soft locked. If you look above my character, it shows the magic effect, and when this happened, I wasn't able to jump, attack, use my magic, and whenever I tried to, this huge splash would go around my character, but I was forced to do the level all over again. So this sucked. I also couldn't take damage, So I don't really know what happened here, but it was really annoying. I had to do the level again because I got soft locked because of a glitch. The catfish was finally slain. This thing was an absolute pushover to my tornado. All I had to do was just block it and then tornado it, and it died instantly, moving us on to the tall grass field. Before we did that though, I decided to check out a new weapon since I am now a level 10. The wooden staff has +5 magic and -2 defense, so I do take more damage, but I do +5 magic compared to +3. So I think this is the way to go, moving us on to the tall grass field. After fighting a couple of enemies, it was finally time to fight the midway boss, who's this, I think, a clan leader of all the bears. We had a tornado battle as they have a similar magic to the Cyprian. After our Beyblade battle, I was easily able to defeat the bear boss battle by having a bit of patience and just waiting a bit. Immediately after this, the game throws 2 gigantic beefy bears at you. This is where I really realized that the beefies are extremely weak to the tornado attack, which basically instantly shreds them in like seconds. If I get the right hitbox on them, they'll die and just plummet. Watch this. He's dead. After fighting a bit more bears, we move on to the slime cave, which I then realized how good the tornado is at fighting these really annoying slime enemies. They get absolutely shredded by this thing, and it pierces multiple of them at once. The giant monster boss bat battle was actually very easy. It was very similar to the Barbarian. I just had the shield, no one to attack with my tornado, and this thing died basically instantly. Absolute pushover. This tornado thing is awesome! After fighting bees and beekeepers in the flowery field, I unlocked a new power, the magic jump. This is actually a really powerful attack, and right now it does 41 damage for just hitting one person with it. Very, very strong ability, and this will become very useful, and is actually my favorite move I use for this entire run. It was next time to fight the Groom Boss fight. I'm going to be completely honest, I do not like this boss fight, and it's actually my least favorite fight in the entire game. It's because you hit him once, then he runs away, and then you have to instantly wait for like another 30-second cutscene just to attack him again, and I find it incredibly boring. My attacks were basically doing nothing, but later on I remembered how I had a certain move, cough cough, the magic jump, to do a lot more damage to him. So I had to hit him in small increments, and after a while I was eventually able to get the kill on him, but I had to be very careful because his attacks did a ton of damage to me. But if I was able to get in properly, hop, and use my magic jump, it actually took off a big chunk of his health bar, but every time I would hit him, he would just run away and hide, and it was really, really, really annoying. Right here is the craziest example. I hit him once, look how much health he has, and he immediately runs back. I had to wait 25 more seconds to kill the boss, but then I eventually was finally able to kill him, and man, it felt good. This boss took an eternity to kill, and it was really boring waiting for all these cannonballs, but I ended up taunting him with my shield after I killed him. Absolutely deserved. Moving us on to the next level, which is the parade. Shooting us out of the organ cannon, we're then launched on top of this parade cart. I can easily use my sand tornado power to knock over the cone heads off this top parade cart, and it instantly kills them if they touch the ground, so this part was pretty simple. The part I was mainly worried about was the troll boss fight. My splash and my regular magic ability were not able to hit the troll's eyes, which is how you're supposed to beat this fight. I eventually gave up, and then I exited out and plugged in a second controller because I thought this wasn't possible. But I ended up actually finding a solution to this boss fight. If I were to jump off, use my tornado magic at the same time, take damage, and bring my healing potions, I was actually able to do a reasonable amount of damage to the boss, eventually killing him. The enemies were also dropping food, which made this much easier, and I was able to actually continue on with the run, and I was very happy about that. I restarted the game to disconnect the other controller, and it made me do the whole level over again, including the parade. So I guess that means I did it solo anyway. I used the tornado and the magic jump ability to make it through the cave and the start of the Cyclops fortress. The magic jump in particular was very useful and did a whopping 50 damage against these cone heads, so it made them very easy to take out because these enemies are actually pretty challenging for this part of the game due to their heavy weight. The Cyclops boss fight was next. This one was pretty simple, and all I had to do was use the tornado power against him. After dodging his knives and using a projectile magic against him, he was quickly defeated. Moving us on to the next level, the lava world. My jump magic was really useful against the fire demons as it did a whopping 64 damage. Hitting them one by one, absolutely tracking where they go after I hit them, just chipping at them for large amounts of damage. The magic jump is by far the thing that carried me the most through this only stand playthrough, and it made taking out these enemies way easier than it ever should have been. After dying to the fire demon, I decided it was finally time to plug in the capture card and stop using the Switch's built-in capture device. This wasn't working very well and it caused the footage to be kind of choppy, so the rest of the video was using my capture card. This was the biggest problem of the entire run right here, this Volcano boss. It can only be defeated by using the beefy arms attack, so unfortunately there's nothing we can do here to use sand. But when you really think about it, this character produces the sand out of his fists, so technically I am using the thing that produces the sand, when you really think about it. But if there's some workaround to this area of the game, let me know in the comments down below. But this was the biggest hurdle in the entire challenge, but this isn't going to stop us from beating the entire game with sand, as we continue on to the sock puppet boss battle. This boss was pretty easy. All I had to do was dodge its flames, dodge the boulders, and watch out for the fire demon that he releases. And I was able to jump and use my tornado attack and hit his sweet spot and kill him. This was one of the easier boss fights of the run. After this boss, it was time to go to the Industrial Castle. The Industrial Castle was actually a pretty simple level as I was able to kill all the enemies with ease using the magic jump ability. The problem came when I was fighting the boss at the end. I was trying to use my sand tornado attack on the industrial parts, but unfortunately the robot's hand knocked me into the flames and I lost a life. I was quickly able to get through this level again, along with upgrading my defense, and I used my magic jump, because it does the most damage, to kill the industrial prince. We then obtained the golden telescope, moving us on to the next level, the pirate ship. This level was really easy. I just kind of spammed the magic jump and I moved on. This level is a little too easy in my opinion, even when you're not going for a challenge run. It kind of just feels like extra padding, but the ninjas are cool. Next up was the desert, where I had to fight a bunch of monsters. These were really easily to take out with my sand tornado ability, as they kind of stand still and I do a large amount of DPS to them. Along with using my magic jump against the royal guards, and using my tornadoes against these other types of monsters, which go underground and you have to dodge. The alien ship that I got abducted by was actually really easy to get through, as I was able to take out all the aliens easily using my tornado and projectile magic. The next area was the Sandcastle, which is actually my favorite level in the game because the music is so good and I just like how scary all the giant beefy characters coming in are, and I like the volleyball minigame at the end. But this level was an absolute breeze as I was able to use my tornado magic against the strong beefies, along with using my magic jumps against the smaller characters. So I was able to get here with relative ease, and the volleyball minigame I was able to just use my projectile magic against, and it was very easy. Next level was the swamp, as I had to fight a bunch of skeletons and snakies. These were very easy to take out, again, say it with me, using the magic jump, which is a whopping 64 damage against the skeletons. They could kill them in about 5 shots with the magic jump, and it knocks them far away, making them easy to do with group control, and the peasant NPCs were helping me take them out as well, making my life a little bit easier. The next boss battle was the corn boss, and this thing took a really long time because it kept hiding away and I was doing very little damage using my projectile magic against it. But eventually I was able to take it out using my jump and projectile magic at the same time, and I was able to obtain the item we needed, which is the horn to enter Medusa's palace. My tornado was easily able to take out the fish enemies, along with my super jump taking out the regular snaky enemies. The Medusa boss fight was also easily killed by my tornado attack. The next level was the full moon, which is pretty easily one of the hardest levels in the entire game. With good group control, I was able to bounce from each enemy at once, and I was able to use my super magic jump, which did 50 damage, which chipped at them and did a ton of damage, and before I knew it, I was out of this level within one try. I was very surprised. The ice level was more of the same, just taking out basic enemies using my super jump and using my tornado to break these ice pillars. nothing else really changed here. Moving us on to the Ice King boss. I actually thought I was going to lose to this boss fight because I had to slow down to hit it, and these icicles were raining on top of me, and he would just quickly go away, and he had so much health, and it was very difficult. But luckily, I had a very clutch level up, giving me back all my health, and I was able to kill the boss with relative ease. The final level, I had to fight a bunch of cult minions and then move on to the Painter boss fight. The Painter boss was actually pretty easy, as I was able to use my tornado to kill him and my projectile magic to kill the paintings. Next was the Cyclops boss battle. I was able to use my tornado and then I had to do a waiting game. This Groom character loves his waiting games, and then use my tornado against him. Relative ease. The one I was really scared of fighting though was the Necromancer boss fight. Well. I thought this was going to be a big problem, but I was actually able to beat it on my first try. By using my magical jump, I was able to kill all the smaller enemies and track them down, as well as jump over all their attacks. I just had to watch out for the beefies, which are able to grab you midair regardless of how high you are. And then they would do a ton of damage, and I thought I was going to die, but luckily I had heal potions, and as well as me having the fruit that the enemies drop after they are killed. The Necromancer boss himself, I was such a pushover. I was easily able to chain together magic jumps, and he died really quickly. The final battle was actually extremely underwhelming. For the crystal phase, I used my tornado attack, which killed them pretty much instantly. For the bubble phase, I jumped and used my tornado. For the phase with him changing whether he uses melee attacks or magic attacks, I was able to use my magic jump, and this absolutely shredded through his health bar. My tornado shredded through his spider phase health bar. His final phase, I was able to use my magic jump, but it was kind of hard to track him down, but eventually I did kill him, and I beat the entire game only using sand aside from that one volcano area. But other than that, the entire game is completely beatable by only using sand magic. I got the orange princess, and I completed the game. Thanks for watching, guys. If you would subscribe and like and share, it would really mean a lot. This is my first Castle Crashers video. I usually do Plants vs. Zombies, but if you guys are new here, stick around, subscribe, and let me know if you want to see another challenge. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.